Alright, we're going to be taking a look at my Invoked Dogmatika deck. I wasn't originally planning on doing any kind of showcase like this, but it actually did pretty well at locals the last few times I went. Got top 4 multiple times, so I figured why not just show it off. So to start it off, we're going to be playing triple Dogmatika Alizoa. It's our boss ritual monster of the deck, so I am playing a loose ritual version. It's my own card list, so it's not the full ritual version. This is actually our only ritual monster we will be playing. But we're also going to be playing triple Ecclesia, our searcher, and obviously one of the best cards in the deck. You need to be playing this at 3. And then to finish it off, we are playing one Fleur-de-Lis and one Maximus, being so they're both searchable, and when you want them, you can get them whenever you need. And that is all the Dogmatika monsters we will be playing. And now we will be moving on to our boy Alistair Invoker. He is a one-card god card. The current format, maybe his normal summon is no longer the best, but back in the day, man, what a great normal summon. And then the 2 invocation, I run it at 2 because if something happens to the first one, if they DD Crowed or whatever, you basically need a second one in order to follow up. And then because we're playing Alistair, we're also running his field spell, so 3 more Alistair, and why not run 1 more Alistair with terraforming? So we're running essentially 7 Alistairs in the deck, so we're almost guaranteed to see him almost every time we go first or second, so that's a pretty good ratio there. Now moving on to our other searchers, and man, this entire deck is just searchers. We're playing triple Nadir Servant, literally one of the best searchers in the entire game, especially when paired with Garua, the extra deck monster. And more searchers, Dogmatika Matrix. Dogmatika Matrix is an incredible going second card, and it essentially allows you to search for any Dogmatika monster or ritual spell, and then another one on top of that, right? It's kind of insane. And then for our ritual spells, we're playing 3 Dogmatic Calamity and 1 Dogmatic Cabre. I like this ratio because Dogmatic Calamity is the one you want to see going first. Dogmatic Cabre is actually not that good going first, but being so it is searchable, it is great graveyard recursion. And then last but not least in our spells, we're playing Super Poly. Because we're playing Invoked, why not play Super Poly? It's a great out, and it's one of those cards that probably should be banned, but I'm happy it's not. Let's move on to our traps. We're playing the 1 Dogmatika Punishment because it's searchable, so you only really need to play it at 1. I would never recommend playing more than that. And then last but not least, Trap Shadal Schism. This card, why would you not play it with Maximus? You can basically pitch it, or even with Dogmatika Matrix, you can pitch it with that as well. I guess when I say pitch it, I actually mean pitching the extra deck monster Apkalone, and that will search your Schism, and that way you're able to fusion summon into Winda, and you actually don't need to play any Shadal main deck monsters. You just need those 2 extra deck monsters, and Schism is live. So that is at 30. We're now at 31. These last 9 cards can be whatever you want, but these are the hand traps I decided to play because they were the best for the format. I played triple Ash Blossom. What an incredible staple, and man, it is great against Brand of Fusion. Triple Imperm, another great staple, and then we played triple Evenly Matched to out those boards. There wasn't a whole lot of negates in this format, but going into post Cyberstorm, there's going to be a lot of negates, so I might not be playing Evenly Matched after that. Alright, time to move on to our extra deck. We're playing 1 Secure Gardna, and we're playing 1 Almirage. I know you can just play the Magistus Moon Maiden, but I feel like playing these 2 is better because it also gives you a fire, which allows you to go into Invoked Purgatrio, which is an insane card that can actually just straight up win you games when your opponent's not expecting it. But we are playing the Invoke, or not the Shadal. So the Shadal Apkalone and Shadal Winda. So pitch Apkalone with one of your effects with either Maximus or Dogmatika Matrix, search Schism, then you can special summon Winda on their turn, lock your opponent out of special summoning, an insane combo. And then let's move on to our invoked monsters. So we play the one Kaliga, which is a crazy floodgate. It's kind of rough, but it is easy to out, so, you know. Invoked Makaba, our negate, which is typically what we're making going first. It's either that or Kaliga, depending on your circumstances. Almost always ends up being Makaba, though. And then Invoked Aguides. This is our going second make. So if our turn, obviously turn 3, we'll probably end up making this card, as our Makaba more than likely got outed or something of that sort. Or we'll be using another fusion as material. And then last but not least, Invoke Purgatrio. Like I said, an insane going second card, can win you games. The attack everything with the attack boost on top of an Alistair boost. This card can sometimes have 4,000 attack and it does piercing damage. Now we are playing our 2 level 12s. So we're playing Cyberdark End Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, one dark, one light, depending on what you need in your grave at the time. I almost always just pitch the dark because that makes Schism a little more alive because it needs dark. Also, Kaliga, that's how it's the easy way to make Kaliga. And now we're going to go into our ones that you're more than likely just sending for search. So we're basically sending Titaniclad for follow-up or a search for Ecclesia or something like that in order to extend our plays in our end phase. Or we're pitching Natis in order to destroy a monster. Or we're pitching Garua in order to draw. Garua is also a great Super Poly target, and speaking of Super Poly, we're also going to be playing Mud Dragon of the Swamp, another Super Poly target, and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, our last Super Poly target. Now, I won't be going over a side deck because side deck is super matchup dependent and very format dependent. In this new format, I don't really know exactly what my side deck's going to be yet. So I don't want to really go over a side deck yet, but this is the main deck and the extra deck. And there you go. There you have it. That's my Invoked Dogmatika with a little bit of Shaddoll.